It is being said that we should all be proud of the way we have confronted the COVID-19 pandemic. Indeed, rather than privileging profits and trade, Western societies have made the noble decision to save lives at all costs. Indeed, the logic that has prevailed is that accepting any trade-off between saving lives and saving the economy was an unacceptable and monstrous idea, which is why liberal democracies all around the world have chosen to shutter businesses and force people to self-quarantine in their houses as much and for as long as possible. And a vast majority of citizens and political leaders deemed that acting otherwise would have been nothing else than pure moral bankruptcy. And on the contrary, leaders who did not make that choice were severely criticized for what was seen as a profound lack of humanism and respect for people's most important natural right. This was, for instance, the case with British Prime Minister Boris Johnson, who asked the British people in the initial stages of the pandemic to take it on the chin and to be prepared to lose loved ones. Saving lives at all costs then came to be hailed as the right and only thing to do in the face of this deadly disease, and a return to the dark ages of mankind when the logic of human sacrifice were to prevail became simply unthinkable. But what is at stake here is a very basic and impoverished version of life, and that, when it prevails, ends up destroying life itself. Nowadays, it is clear that we're living in an era of a generalized societal state of thanatophobia, wherein protecting life, in its purely biological understanding, is now the most important value liberal societies cherish, an idea which also appears to be shared by an overwhelming majority of people. Some may argue that this is for the best. I, however, see this shift as a short-sighted view of the essence and meaning of life that will, if not stopped, lead to the development of more limitations to our freedoms. What could be the next step of this life at all costs thesis? If we think about it carefully, the logic behind that trend is that it is necessary to prevent individuals from performing certain actions that are considered to be life-threatening. But this can be extended to so many other domains following the same logic. Indeed, since we have already crossed the Rubicon, what would now prevent states from limiting the number of times we can, for instance, take the plane every year or fuel our car every month, knowing that these means of transportation are causing serious health problems? In fact, pollution is actually the main cause of death of a far more important number of individuals on an annual basis than the COVID-19 pandemic. This sounds far-fetched, you're going to say, but remember back in 2020 how you thought about the need to scan a QR code before going basically anywhere outside of your house. This obligation that was initially supposed to be temporary and limited to only a handful of places has now become permanent and has been extended almost everywhere. This is what the life at all costs thesis can lead to, and it is important to assess that risk sooner rather than later, because people are now getting accustomed to a principle that is intrinsically dangerous and totalitarian in nature. Think about it.